Hello and welcome to today's episode of Shylah's Very Proper Show Vlog Edition. Today we are going to talk about my very awesome vlog at FIT. I took a class there and I also did some other fun stuff this week and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how I made this awesome hoodie. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but it's going to be really fun and you get to see the amazing process of how this amazing thing was made. Day one wasn't really that eventful. We just learned the ropes. We learned how to thread our sewing machine. We practiced some seams along with day two. I just went straight home those days because the heat wave is kicking my behind and it's not fun. So I just went straight home. I would say Wednesday is when things started really like pumping up the fun. I discovered that the student store that sells snacks in FIT has these amazing jalapeno cheddar chips that I survived on for that entire 2 weeks. It was probably one of my highlights. I don't know if I would say if it was above making the hoodie, but it would definitely be up there. And on that day, I also picked out my fabric because we learned we were actually going to be making hoodies, so I picked out my fabric. The first fabric store I went to, they didn't have anything that I was looking for. It was either too thin or too loose or too rough, and I didn't want to be scratching and itching wherever I went in this hoodie, so I went to a different fabric store, B&J, and they had so much. They had it in a system where they would put swatches of fabric on racks and you would pick the rack and they would get the fabric for you, cut it for how many yards you need, and it was super cool. And this bad boy caught my eye and I was quite literally amazed. It was everything I wanted and more. It was soft. I may have broken the rule because the instructions on the syllabus did say no knit and this was knit, but it's okay. I still survived and here we are in this awesome hoodie. I went to an Urban Outfitters pop-up after class. We didn't really do much. We more cut out our fabrics, cut out our patterns. No, wrong order. We cut out our patterns and then we cut out our fabrics. Then it was time to start sewing the next day. Took an adventure after class to the Urban Outfitters X Pinterest pop-up. I got to meet Miffy. That was probably one of the highlights. And I also got this really super pretty aura picture of myself. I don't know how true those are, but I love being whimsical and I love living in bliss. So I did it and my aura was rainbow. I don't know if they were trying to say something, but I also had like a purple crown surrounding my head. So honestly, and the girl said I had good vibes. So honestly, I think I'm set for life. It's that thing where babies and dogs smile at you and you feel like you're walking on sunshine. Honestly, that checks out for me. They had cool sets. I missed out on flowers. They were giving out like bouquets, but it was like every hour and I wanted to go home because yet again the heat wave was kicking my behind. But it was really fun. I waited in line so long for that aura picture. I was already tired and I was not willing to wait another 30 minutes for a bouquet. So yeah, day 5. The next week, I decided to go for a brat summer look. I ordered this shirt off of Etsy, and I would say it was probably one of the best purchases I have ever made. On that day, we continued cutting out our patterns and fabric and whatnot, and we started sewing. That's when I got to sewing the front and the back together. We also overlocked, all that fun stuff. Day 6, I went for like an Applejack type vibe. I always get a lot of compliments on this shirt. I love it so much. But yet again, it was hot and I was not feeling it. I overlocked the, what part is this? I think I overlocked whatever this was without the zipper. I feel like a fraud, but we did overlock whatever that was after we overlocked the front and back together. And then on day 7? Day 7, we moved on to sewing our sleeves on. That kind of got a little tough for me because the sleeves would not match to the armholes that we have created. It would not match. And I spent years upon years trying to shimmy it in whatever way I could. But I will say, for these past 7 days, I was a mean, clean sewing machine, okay? Zoom, 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 zooby, zooby, zoom type shit. And then after class, me and a couple of my classmates went to this kitchen pop-up. I don't exactly know what it was for. I just know that it was like sauces, but they had food for the brand sauces. And yet again, the heat wave. I feel like I'm getting repetitive with this, but you already know what the heat wave is doing. It was so hot, and they had like liminal umbrellas, so it was like 8 of us under one umbrella, all cooped up. Death on earth. But we got through, and we did get to eat our lukewarm food. My gal pals said that some of their food was cold. Mine wasn't. I think my favorite thing was like this quinoa thing and carrots in a blanket, which I thought was hilarious. I didn't really like the other thing, and I spat it out. And then we went to the Lego store. I made Legos with my friends and I. And then we got froyo. So I would say it was a very successful day after class. Very successful. On day 8, my lucky number, we got to sewing our hoods on and all that jazz. We sewed the 2 panels together, then we sewed it to the main piece. This part was pretty easy. I just remember having trouble with the overlock because I was afraid that I would chop off half of my garment off. I feel like I've done that multiple times by accident, so I feel like on at least all of my projects, there's at least one little nick or knack on the garment itself because I went too crazy with the overlock machine. Because in my mind, I'm feeling like, oh, I got this. Like, I've used this a million times. I go with fashion school. I'm that girl, okay? And then when you get in that seat and you have to put the lightest amount of pressure on the pressure foot to make sure it doesn't speed through your fabric. I remember one time we were making corsets and I chopped off half of my corset. Like, it was the outer piece, and I like ran right through it, and I was like looking around, cause for my fond memory, I was the most comfortable with the overlock machine. So I thought I was feeling like a boss, and people were like, "Oh, can you help me with the overlock?" And I was like, "Yeah." Lost all of my confidence in that moment. I just silently got up, I sewed it back, and we moved on with our day. Day 9, we got our zippers. I had to find, first of all, I got one zipper. It was the wrong zipper. I forgot this thing needs to separate, so I thought it was just like the usual zipper you would use on, hold on, I got this. Like this zipper. This zipper, it's in there. It don't separate, it's in there. So I got that kind of zipper. You need to get the separating zipper for anything that you want to open, essentially. So basically I had to get another one of those. 2 trips, New York hot summer sun, death. But it all worked out. And I would say the zipper, shockingly, was the easiest part. Once you pin down the initial zipper to the sides, and you just sew as close as possible under that flap, straight down, you're basically done. You have zippered the zipper. Then, the last day, but not the last day, let's vlog. For the last day of class, we started hemming everything. We hemmed these bad boys. We hemmed the inner hoodie parts. We hemmed the sides. We overlocked. That overlock machine was on its last limb, but she sufficed. And it was really bittersweet. I was really sad because I made so many friends in that class. And my professor was the sweetest lady alive. And I just had so much fun. And on the last day I was like, damn, it's really over. Like, I made a hoodie in 10 days. Shocker. But the fun didn't stop. After class, my friend Isadora took us to this place called Bubby's. It's a really good pancake place. I recommend everybody thank Isadora. It was some of the best pancakes I've ever inhaled. Me and my other friend were like, we had to box it up and just save for tomorrow because these pancakes were huge, okay? These pancakes had some, what is it called? Diameter to them, okay? They had some radius. Can you tell what my grade on the geometry regents was from that? And then the program that got me into FIT to take the class had like a reunion the week after. It started off fun. I don't know why I said started off. It was fun. It was fun. Hey, it was very fun. CWC creatives won't change. We had a very fun packed day. We started off at the Decor NY office, and they basically create samples. They work with a bunch of different materials. They're basically a manufacturer for companies. Like, they designed for Wild Fable. The employees were so sweet. They taught us everything. And then we headed in our Ubers to go to the denim wash house to learn about denim. It was so cool. I have taken denim workshops, but this one was super extensive, and I even got to do like hands-on work. We got to feel the denim, we got to like make all these things with denim. It was super cool. First they taught us about different denim styles, different ways to maneuver, makeshift denim, raw denim. Then we went into the wash house itself, the dry part. I got to make whiskers on jeans. It was low-key a struggle, but I trickled through. I hate the feeling of jeans, like raw jeans, and they had us working on raw jeans, so it was like a sensory ick, but I moved past it. Then we went to the wet room. Yeah, the wet room. And they taught us the wet methods of changing denim. And then the super cool part was the laser room, which was another denim method. And it's basically what it sounds like. It lasers patterns, prints onto denim. And the best part was we got to laser things on denim. I don't think I have it on me, but I will show what I got lasered. I got a little thing with my name on it, and then I got a big patch of denim with my friends on it, which was super cool. And then after that, we headed our merry way back to downtown Manhattan, and we got Mexican food, which was superb. Me and my good friend Layla, we shared steak tacos. I was really excited because they came with avocado, but I was very disappointed because it was like the avocado to taco ratio was sad. It was like one slither of avocado. I was expecting like, you know, a few chunks in there. It was one slice. And these were some like pretty hefty little tacos. So I was very disappointed in that aspect. But I moved on. The guacamole and chips were good and the fries were good. That's probably the only thing that kept me going. Then we headed our merry way over to Parsons to see some of the other CWC students work. And I also saw one of my very good friends from the last time I did this program, which was very, very much awesome. I was like recognizing her work. I was like, oh my god, that's my friend Maria. We got a glimpse of the other artworks from the other departments at Parsons, and then we moved on to our next task, was the Whitney Museum. I didn't get much footage of the Whitney Museum because my phone A was dying and the Wi-Fi was bad, but it was very fun. And before we left, they had this print. Okay, you know, like the tattoo machines in like the laundromats. I don't know if this is like a New York exclusive thing, but like the ones that you push the coins into, they had that, but it was like for prints. And I got a Ralph popsicle print and a Cup of Joe. They're very much prized possessions. And then our last stop of the day was dinner. I shared mussels with my good friend Layla. Penne alla vodka. It was super awkward because I was like asking, do you guys have penne alla vodka? And they're like, yeah. Let me tell you, that Italian restaurant was a match made in heaven. That was like the perfect resolution. And that was it. That was it. It was so much fun. Boom. Ta-da. We have a we have a Shylah original. I'm definitely flexing this when I go back to school. Definitely flexing this to my 10th grade fashion teacher, Mrs. Salazar. If you're out here, if you're watching, your attitude influenced me to get things done, okay? I was speeding. I may have not been speeding through your class, but I was definitely speeding making this hoodie, and you would definitely be proud. Thank you so much for watching this mini vlog about my experience at FIT and beyond. And everyone manifests in 2 more years. 2 more years. That's the goal. I want to thank my friends from class and my friend Layla and Shanae for being there during the CWC reunion, because I'm very awkward and that probably would have been a very awkward experience without you guys. So love you, ciao, and catch you next time. Mwah. No bars.